got awkward in here for a minute.
It is awkward. Well, because we were talking about this story from Canada about a guy who's suing a Canadian hospital for shortening his penis.
For shortening it.
Yes.
Like, let's make it a little shorter.
Well, he didn't go in there doing that. He didn't go in there and say, something,
There's
I got too
here.
much. I can't move through a crowd without offending people.
Women complain.
It's a difficult thing. I'm always moving to the left.
I'm always getting calls from porno makers. We need you. You're a star.
The unidentified Montreal resident says he injured his penis while having sex with his wife in 2011.
It's like a Lorena Bobbitt story.
No details here, though. But he said he injured it. She didn't do anything to injure it. He did it.
He did something crazy.
He went to the hospital, says he got sent home with a diagnosis of minor trauma after what he calls an insufficient exam. So
he thinks the trauma was way more major than they're suggesting.
Well, my first question as the other attorney would be, what would be a sufficient exam of your penis? Please describe to me what would make it more sufficient than the exam that you got.
Yeah, expert witness from Carol's Massage House.
He remained in pain and learned 3 months later that he had suffered a fractured penis. How do you fracture something that doesn't have an actual bone in it?
Well, it is referred to as a boner.
The resulting surgery left a permanent scar, shortened it by an inch, and resulted in, quote-unquote, indescribable anguish. He said this was it had indescribable anguish. The latter, apparently because he couldn't have sex for 2 years with his wife and his wife left him. The plaintiff is a paraplegic. Well,
what?
Okay.
Now that changes the story.
It changes
a
everything
bit.
Because now he's got the one thing that works down there, and now it doesn't, and it's shorter.
Wow.
I think that would be for me indescribable anguish.
I can take sides now.
He's asking for $140,000 in damages. I don't think that's enough.
No,
now that I've heard this,
that. Not when you add paraplegic to it.
This has caused a greater impact on my life than when I lost the use of my legs. Well, yeah. Well, and that speaks exactly to what men are most concerned about. I'd rather you lose the use of my legs than lose the use of my penis.
Well, that's our biological directive. It would be. Yeah, that story is really easy. I was unsure as to which side I could take, and now I'm really clear. I am on his side.
Same here.
And he should get a lot more money for whatever happened, because there's clearly a lot of details that are really missing to really, make a real firm.
They should have started with that. In fact, his attorney should start with that. And at the court to say, by the way, I don't think there's a man in here that wouldn't give up the use of his legs if they'd have his penis working the way it's supposed to.
That's right. And the only thing you'll have in his favor is an all-male jury. It's like, case closed. It's like, no, not fair. Welcome to the Bill and Jason Show. I'm Jason Jones. That's
Bill Herman. That's me. He couldn't remember my name.
We're here for another week. Did I stutter on your name?
No, you just kind of paused for a second there. I know you were kind of mentally Rolodexing with all the other radio hosts you've done shows with.
I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you do that.
Wow.
Go ahead, pause. So I had a great Father's Day. How about you?
My Father's Day was pretty awesome, actually. Yeah. Although I noticed something interesting that was very different about Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Really? What was that?
Yeah, well, on Mother's Day, Mom, I occupied my son, and my mom got a nice break. And on Father's Day, I spent my whole day with my son. So how is it on Father's Day I have to be more of a father, and on Mother's Day she gets a pass for being a mother?
I think that happens more often than you might want to think. I mean,
really?
I kind of felt guilty about wanting to have time alone on Father's Day, so I didn't. I mean, if Father's Day for a guy, I would think would be a celebration of fatherhood. So you'd want to have your children around you and your family in a warm, loving embrace.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you could take the Labor Day approach.
Right. Well, but I mean, more guys think like that, and then more women are like, I'm going to the spa. Sorry, I'm out of here. I'm not going to have anything to do with any of you people for one day.
Maybe more women actually spend more time with the children than us guys do.
No.
Yeah.
That couldn't be.
Impossible.
No, completely impossible.
Completely impossible.
The one thing about Father's Day, I mean, that same thing, I spent the day with my family. My girls in the morning who gave me cards and a big yellow... big yellow tie. It was a Jerry Garcia tie, so it made it cool.
Yeah,
but this shirt is not as yellow as the tie that I got, which I think every Father's Day, every man, somebody gives him a tie. And then we spent the day.
It's a good guy gift, you
Right.
know?
And I spent the day at my in-laws' house with my father-in-law and my brother-in-laws and their kids, and it was nice.
Yeah, it's a nice family day.
But Casey Kasem died. Casey
Yeah.
Kasem from American Top 40 died on Father's Day.
And he's like the father of American pop music.
He really is. He started,
You know, like Dick Clark was the bandstand, he was the American Top 40.
yeah, and he moved up the radio ranks like many of us did. He just actually moved up because he started. He was born in Detroit, and he started in the Army. Worked as a DJ announcer on the Armed Forces Radio in Korea, and then he went to San Francisco and in Oakland, California, and Los Angeles. He tried to be an actor. He got a few low budget Hollywood. Yeah, well, he got a few pieces. Well, that wasn't until later though. That wasn't until he started doing some stuff with cartoons and voiceovers, and then ended up being Shaggy on Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then he was the voiceover for people like Ford and Sears and Heinz Ketchup and Oscar Mayer Wieners and Red Lobster and Dairy Queen and Velveeta cheese, which is kind of
He's like,
put
I
all
can
those
make
things
a
together.
great living as a union voiceover talent in L.A.
He did make it. And then he became the host of American Top 40, which is where I heard him for the first time. I probably heard him, I'm sure I heard him for the first time someplace else and didn't know it until it was Casey Kasem. Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be, all of us used to be able to do his voice.
Everybody does the Casey Kasem.
And every one of us thought that, what the hell is he doing? Why does he have that gig when we're all trying to do this? And he's Casey Kasem on American Top 40.
I didn't think of that.
I did.
When I listened to him. I always, in fact, it was kind of fun because he was kind of like this. As I think back, he was almost more like a fatherly figure that's coming in to give you like, here's what's happening in Top 40. You know, before bump and grind. You know, it's when it was wholesome. You know, or it wasn't.
Well, you remember he was kind of a wholesome. You remember what his signature sign off was?
Yep, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Yep, every time
you never get them.
Well, fine, like make it cryptic.
I was kind of cynical at the time.
You think? One of his final quotes about radio, somebody wrote it down here for me. Basically, radio hasn't changed over the years, he once said. Despite all the technical improvements, it still boils down to a man or a woman and a microphone, playing music, sharing stories, talking about issues, and communicating with an audience.
Mm-hmm. It's a stage.
It is. It's always been the same thing for years, and that's what he spoke to. And the saddest part about this whole story is all the stuff that led up in the last months to it all, with his second wife,
the drama
and his
and the weird
kids,
stuff.
and trying to move him out of the country, and all that drama and weirdness that happened just because there was a fight between the kids and the new wife.
Well, I'm sure it's a fight over the fortune. You know, it's like, dad's dying, so let's all get hung up on the money.
That's just great. And it really, plus his second wife really wasn't his new wife. He's married to her almost 30 some years. You remember who she was? She was Jean Kasem was the tall, blonde, bimbo actress on Cheers. Remember Cheers? Oh. And remember Carla's ex-husband, he used to come in all the time. He's a famous actor now, character actor. But he'd come in, that little guy, and he had this big blonde girl with him all the time. His new wife, who he married. He married Carla, short and just like him. And then this big blonde, buxom, California, ditzy blonde girl who was a regular on the show on Cheers and became more famous because of Cheers than anything else. But she's who Casey Kasem was married to.
Wow.
And Casey was about as tall as Carla's ex-husband on Cheers. Exactly. And she was really, really tall. So.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. I don't know why I have that piece of trivia in my brain, but I do.
Because you were jealous somehow. Like, yeah. Oh, Casey gets all the luck.
I was jealous of Casey, man. He had a little tiny voice and a national program, and he married a big blonde, buxom girl.
He had it all.
He did have it all.
He was probably miserable though.
I had nothing. I was nobody.
And then now?
Now he's gone.
Well, and you?
And still, I do a radio show with you. That's all I got. I do a thing with him.
Oh, you had to bring that up. Yeah, well, let me tell you, you've moved up in the world. This may not be the top 40, but
Well, I
it's a
gotta
show.
could put a little outfit on you and make me a little happier.
Well, and fortunately, there's Ryan Seacrest that'll seal his
Oh, God.
legendary status.
When are we gonna start
seal
our
Casey
website?
Kasem's legendary status?
Well, that's who's doing that AT40 show. I think they
anti-
still call it AT40 because it's hipper to say AT40 than American Top 40, right?
Well, everything's acronym now. Ryan Seacrest. What would we call it? We call it the anti-fan club. The anti-fan club. The anti-Ryan fan club.
The only other person that did the hosting of American Top 40 instead of Casey Kasem at one point was Shadow Stevens.
Shadow Stevens from North Dakota.
Yeah, he lived up in your neck of the woods.
Well, I don't know if he lived there very long, but his family was certainly from
Right. And that didn't work out because Casey came back, and then when Casey retired again, they gave it to Seacrest. But
kind of like Leno. Yeah. Leno and Conan, it's really kind of sad. Like but Shadow did not do a road show. He should have done a road show.
Shadow Stevens had an awesome voice. I mean, let me say it that way. He has an awesome voice.
Yeah, he does, because you still hear him on Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, he's the guy who went through. And now from
Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even do his voice.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing he does. That's like the only speaking that Shadow does on that show. I wonder if it's live or if he canned it a long time ago and it's done every day.
I'm sure he goes to work every day.
Just to introduce.
Now, here's Craig Ferguson.
That's great sound effects. You should be. we should
be
call,
a Prairie Home Companion.
I was going to say, just call Garrison Keeler tomorrow and let's get you a real radio job.
Thunder. Wait, no, is that popcorn?
Even. I don't know. It sounds like paper being shaken together. Easy to say. We're on radio.
Yeah, you would win at Secret Sound.
You would win.
Did
on
you ever
Secret
play that
Sound.
game when you were on any of the radio stations you worked at? Did they ever play that game?
No.
We were on
Did
an
you?
oldie station that was all about what happened between the songs, because they were the same old songs throughout the whole time, kind of thing. So we played the Secret Sound, and we had to come up with something really hard that people couldn't guess. So the sound was the sound of a shower head falling into a bathtub.
What?
Yeah.
See, now you could have done anything and said that's what it was, and nobody would. Oh, okay. Well, who's ever going to know that you actually went to a shower?
I recorded. It was my shower where I lived. I mean, we could have made another layer. Like, now that you know that it's a shower head falling into a shower, where is the shower? Anywhere in the Twin Ports. Okay, it's in Superior or Duluth. So that narrowed it down for you. Good luck.
Did anybody ever guess it?
Somebody did guess it.
How?
I have no idea.
Somebody must have given it away.
And
You
maybe
must have been
thing.
at a bar one night, drunk out of your mind. Hey man, nobody ever gets a secret sound.
Yeah,
You know what it is.
I know what it is.
Yeah, and some girl was listening and made a note, called in the next morning.
Right. I probably didn't even get $5 for it. She said, "How did she know? Man, my head hurts."
Oh wow,
It's incredible. Oh, memories.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, our good friend Dr. Drax, the president of the American Disc Jockey Association, he made the news.
Really?
Yeah. He has the Wedding Channel featured him. They did a little interview with him to find out what are some of the myths.
Myth. Go ahead, say it again.
Yes.
If you say it enough times, it loses its meaning.
Myths. You could say that about anything, though.
The word
like
myth, it becomes a myth.
Shenanigans. That means nothing. Shenanigans.
Okay,
What
stop.
is that?
Stop. What's the story?
Shenanin.
It's Shenanin who?
So this is on weddingchannel.com. Celeste Piron wrote it.
I love her.
Yeah, she must be French.
She's one of my favorite writers.
Anyway, it kind of bugs me anyway that it's like myths about wedding music.
Yeah.
That there's no entertainment that happens at a wedding. It's just music.
Right. Well, that's that one thing I wish our American Disc Jockey Association president would have said that first about myths. It's not just the myth is not that it's not just music.
It's not music. It's entertainment, and music is a big part of that.
And and to be fair, he may have said that, and she just wrote what she wanted to write.
And she just didn't put it in there. So okay, so
I
myth number one.
I don't want a guy named Drax coming after me with a laser and on the top of the head of a shark. So I'm going to be nice.
Oh, he could be a Bond villain, couldn't he?
He could be.
Oh, my God.
I
I
know.
never thought of that. I'm going to suggest that to him next time I see him. Hey, Drax, did you ever think about being a Bond villain? And then it'll be a great story. Well, there was this one time. Anyway, myth number one. A DJ will talk too much. Nonsense.
No. Move on.
Listen to this show.
Move on to the next one.
Which, a funny story that I like to tell about that. Can I tell a funny story about that?
After we just say that it's a myth that we talk too much?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, this is a talking podcast.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I did this wedding down in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
And the coordinator, and when I MC the whole thing, you know, do the introductions,
Right.
and I talk a lot.
Right,
really.
you've been copying me for
I'm on
years.
the
I
mic
got
a
it.
lot. Yeah, Bill Herman style weddings. So anyway, so that's what I do, and the coordinator said, she goes, "You're so different. You're not showy and talk a lot like the other people do." I'm like, really?
Yeah, you do.
I'm talking all night long.
Right.
So I guess it's if you're talking about something
If you
people
just
care about.
yeah, if you're just
then
babbling,
you can get away with talking.
right. This is one of the reasons why people stop listening to our show 5 minutes in.
That's right. Although there is a DJ company I do know of that does ask the question on their questionnaire,
Yeah.
do you want your DJ to talk a lot? Which is a loaded question.
It really is. How many people go, yes,
Yes, all
please,
the time.
because I would love to dance to him going blah, 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 blah.
In fact, if he could never stop talking, that would be the best. I mean, like, really keep it going. Like, no breaths, no breaks, no water. Like, keep it going. I want to see him until he's blue in the face. Come on. Take it to the end. We're going to time it. It'll be awesome.
Oh, man, I was going to ask. Thanks for stopping. I was trying to get winded.
Okay, so myth number two.
Number two.
Is actually not about DJs. It's about bands. And
Yeah,
it's
well,
that-
let's skip that one.
Okay. Myth number 3 is the DJ will play cheesy tunes.
Yeah.
Cheesy tunes.
According to who?
Well, you know,
That's just it. I
beauty
mean-
is in the ear of the beholder.
That's a nice way to say it. But I mean, cheesy is as cheesy does. I mean, it's not about what. I mean, my good friend Mark Farrell says it all the time. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Bingo.
Right.
It's not what you play, it's how and when you play it.
So it's like, how do you set up the chicken dance?
You can play the chicken dance and have it not cheesy. It is done all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but it has been done by people who know how to do it.
He's implying himself.
I am implying myself.
But the one song that you cannot do without it being cheesy or bad is the Hokey Pokey.
Why?
It's long and pointless and
It's
miserable.
not. There's nothing pointless about putting your right foot in.
You know, it.
Or much less once it's in, taking it out again.
I'd rather have everyone reenact
And
the
once
Trail
you
of Tears
own your left
than
foot,
to do the Hokey
you may
Pokey.
show power in that left-footedness and shake it about as you wish. That's power and freedom that song's about.
Is this how you riff the Hokey Pokey to get people excited?
No, I don't.
Is this
I never
your
play it.
build-up?
I never play it. It's kind of cheesy. So move on.
Myth number, I lost count.
Let's say 17.
A DJ will save you money. Now, see, there's two words missing from that myth, and that is a Craigslist DJ will save you money. Correct.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because a bad DJ will waste a lot of your money.
No, they'll waste just a little bit of your money because you got a cheap DJ
No, they waste a lot of your money because you used a bad DJ.
for a very expensive event.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that when the DJ and we, as entertainers and DJs and performers, we know that once you add entertainment to a wedding reception, and once again, this is something that my friend Mark Farrell says on a regular basis. Once you add entertainment to an event, it becomes an entertainment event.
Right.
You have just a meal, then it better be the best damn meal they ever had in their
it's
life.
just
But
dinner.
afterwards, entertainment happens. It becomes the reason people stay. It becomes the reason they have a great experience from the beginning of the event to the end of the event. That is the reason they're there. So a bad entertainer can now be the reason why they had a horrible experience. And the beans and weenies can be a huge waste of money because you had a $3 disc jockey. Or you find someone that fits who you are, who's talented, who understands what's supposed to happen and when it's supposed to happen and how it's supposed to happen to enhance the experience they're creating. And all of a sudden you have doubled your money. You spend $5,000 on that DJ and not have spent enough.
You've said this before.
No.
You have. This is
the fourth time I've mugged the camera, so I'm really in today.
You really are.
I'm really on.
You're just loving up that camera, aren't you? You are.
All right, next tip. What else we got there?
We'll put a break in there. Well, I mean, to break it down even further than is that the DJ or the host or whatever capacity a person that comes in that's bringing the entertainment into that event, they create what happens. And if you want to know what people get excited about and talk about and chatter about, it's rarely ever is it like, oh, the chicken was amazing this time.
But it can be.
It can be.
If the MC, the entertainer.
No, just the wedding, just in general, okay?
Okay.
Just in general. It's like, oh, the chicken, or like, oh, I mean, the decorations, they can be amazing, but then that's like for the first 5 minutes, and then what? But what has people chattering is what happens. And who creates what happens? Bill,
Well,
do you have an answer?
I do. No, we do. We do. The entertainment creates what happens.
Exactly.
Or rather, the entertainment can create what happens. Oftentimes, though, the entertainment doesn't take that they didn't take themselves that seriously. They don't really believe that they can create what happens, so they just become part of the decorations. And part of the decorations isn't worth a whole lot of money all by itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not. You know, it's not what it can be, and that's what's so frustrating about what we do.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the biggest thing that's really missing in the minds of consumers is what is possible.
Yeah, what
they've
potential.
only seen what they've seen, and they assume that's all there is to get.
Right.
That's all that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just think of how many times you've sat down and had a consultation with people, sales consultation, and they go, "I didn't know this was available."
Right.
Right.
So in retrospect, that is not the word I was looking for. I'm not retrospecting. In conclusion,
we're leading up to a
thank
break.
you, Dr. Drax, for putting that article together, and the ADJ is always doing great works. If you're not a member of the American Disc Jockey Association, you should be.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's take a break, and then you do a commercial for the ADJ.
Oh, great! You're listening to the Bill and Jason Show. Okay. This is it. This is where I get to my commercial.
Ready? And 3, 2, 1.
I'm a member of the American Disc Jockey Association, and so should you. Why? Because they are there to enhance what we do for a living, to help to change the industry and what they have to say about us, change our thought processes so we think better of ourselves, and to bring together an industry on a regular basis that it can be an actual industry by bringing us together and having us all think towards the future, a future for our families, for ourselves, and for an industry that's being grown every day because of the likes of Dr. Drax and the American Disc Jockey Association and members like me. So you should be a part of it too. How's that?
Now, give out Drax's personal cell phone number.
Okay, wait, hold on. 1-800-BOND-VILLAIN. Wait, hold on. What was that?
Yeah,
all right.
The ADJ is pretty awesome.
Did you read the other day? I saw a thing here about there's a thing. It's in beta. It's called Clubcast, where EDM disc jockeys now they have a platform so they can live stream what they do and can be in several places at once. In other words, I don't have to hire a DJ like Skrillex to come to my club. I can hire his Clubcast from his living room and have him in my club.
Wow. So you just see him up on the video screen doing his thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Turning the knobs?
Clubcast, they say, is the next frontier in live events in the music industry for fans, artists, and venues.
You see, people were worried about the iPod.
They're calling it Mixify. They're spending a lot of money on this thing. And people like DJ Tommy Trash, Richard Mergler, Tim McGee, these famous David Morica is the founder of this. Steve Aoki, Laidback Luke, all of these people are hoping that this is going to work. Why? Because you can get paid twice. Honestly, I still think that I don't know that I'm in on this. I'm not sure this is going to work.
It's not going to be the same experience.
No, there isn't electricity that happens live, even though sometimes it looks like all the DJ is doing is standing in front of a table and pumping his fist.
Right.
And pushing that button like...
that's the electricity right there.
And pushing the old drop the beat button.
Yeah,
oink,
exactly.
like Da Vinci on Saturday Night Live.
So demonstrated.
It may look like he's doing that, but there's something that's happening with that personal live thing that I think they're going to miss with this. And I can see some clubs jumping in on it right away because it's probably going to be cheap and a lot cheaper than bringing Steve Aoki in, who's going to charge you $200,000.
Right, it'll just be like $150,000.
Well, at $150,000, I don't think there's going to be too many people that go, I don't know.
Well, to see somebody on a screen,
Well, they're doing something like that in the movie theaters right now.
Unless they do like a hologram kind of thing.
Well, did you see like the Met, the New York Metropolitan Opera, is streaming their stuff into movie theaters around the country.
Oh, yeah, that's been going on for a while.
Right, but that's not selling a lot of tickets. I mean, it's doing okay. It's interesting, but I haven't. And the few people that I've heard that did went, then hardly anybody there. So it's I can see why they're trying to stay with it, because it could be it's doing the thing of bringing culture to people who can't be in New York City, who can't see something as amazing as the Met. So you get a chance
Ames,
to see
Iowa, they could have Steve Aoki.
Right, but the difference is that there's an experience of actually being at the Met that you don't get sitting in a theater watching the greatest opera singers in the world on a screen.
You're still at the multiplex that you just saw How to Train Your Dragon.
Right,
exactly. And now you're watching.
Hey man, I saw Dumb and Dumber, and then I saw Carmen. It was awesome.
It was crazy. The close-ups were awesome. So that's the one nice thing about being in the theater. It's like they must do close-ups, or is it just like one stagnant shot?
Yeah, but how many video performances have you ever seen that?
Seesaw?
Yeah, exactly. How many have you ever seen that actually gave you the same experience as being at something live?
No.
It just doesn't translate.
It doesn't there. It's
it doesn't translate.
There's a magic that's being generated in the moment.
Right.
It's that shared experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's why there's like laugh tracks and applause tracks that are canned.
Exactly.
So that people can watch TV and have a shared experience with people who are not there with them. And
because they're laughing, I'll laugh.
Right.
Because they think it's funny, I'm going to think it's funny.
Or it's like, oh, that was a joke.
It's a different experience, though. It doesn't translate.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I have a difficult time putting together a video of what I do for people who want to think about hiring me. They want to see video, but then I think, well, until you're there in the room, it's difficult to actually experience it. And when I've tried to videotape it, after I look at it afterwards, it goes, it just doesn't. It's just not translating. Either that, or I'm just not that good at what I do.
Well, you need to add slow-mo and some strings. And you got it. I keep trying to tell you. You know what I mean? It's like, not just when they're laughing, but it's like, ha, ha, ha. Right, exactly. Terrific. That's all you need.
Okay, I'll work on that.
And you'll be all set.
So anyway.
Solved. I should be a consultant or something. Put the check in the mail.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mang.
I got it. We, speaking of got it, we've got...
Yes, speak. Tell me, what do you got? What got you? I'm here. I'm listening.
Well, I'm debating.
We're running out of time.
I'm debating if we have time for the story.
We should do it. Just do it.
All right. So, it's too exciting because, like, if you didn't think the DJs get enough cred, well, especially like wedding DJs, definitely don't get enough cred.
Yeah.
Okay. Like club DJs, yeah, they're getting their cred.
They're cool.
And that's cool.
They're cool.
Doing
they
their
get
thing.
girls.
It's cool.
And stuff.
They're getting their deals and all that.
They
kind
throw
of
cake,
sort of thing.
I don't get to do that.
So,
yeah,
you could incorporate that. And at the end, I'll
but somebody already does that, so I can't get away.
So
with
you don't want to take that, right? That's true. You want to be original,
of course.
So anyway, but there's Warner Brothers is developing a new
Warner Brothers, like the movie, people. Warner Brothers,
yeah.
Okay. So what are they doing?
About a spy who's also a DJ.
Oh yes, I heard about this.
Which is perfect because who would you least suspect to know everything in the room?
Well,
DJ.
Well, I heard that it started off around a thriller from like 2009 called Dead Spy or Dead Spy Running.
Deadline.
Oh, whatever. But it was like it was an MI6 spy guy.
Dead Spy Running. You're right.
MI6 or 16 or MI24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's supposedly a spy and everything like that. But they didn't think it was young enough.
Yeah.
So they figured make the guy a DJ.
Make him a DJ.
Yeah. Tell me more.
It'd be really awesome if they made him a wedding DJ. That would be the best. Be like terrorist scenario. And he does all these highfalutin events and he like finds out all these secrets. It's like,
well, first of all, I don't think you can be a spy and use the words highfalutin.
What's that?
I don't think you can be a spy and also say the words highfalutin.
No.
Highfalutin is that's like if you're a Beverly Hillbillies guy and you a highfalutin thing out by the cement pond.
All right, so they're not going to cast me in the role then.
No, they're not.
So
they're really not.
We'll find somebody else.
So tell me more.
So they promise this is going to include DJ culture.
Okay.
What
is
I think DJ culture is like after the event when all the DJs at the company get together and talk about like, you know what happened?
So you have that meeting in the warehouse where we're all having pizza and we're half drunk.
Pizza and beer and that's
dude, man, you wouldn't believe the guy took his shirt off at the event. It was crazy. What I think I got a picture of it. No, I missed it.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's great. Wait, was that last night? Was that
DJ
tonight?
culture? Is it just walking around in t-shirts with headphones?
Or it could be EDM culture. I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever.
But nonetheless, it looks pretty cool that they're actually that DJs are actually showing up showing up in movies and showing up as characters, showing up as people that are out there. Which the thing that I always say about like being in the DJ business, it's the one business in the world. It's so funny. It's like you can say, I own a valet company. Some people are like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
But you say, yeah, I got a DJ company. I'm like, what? Really? It's like a valet is something that maybe someone might use in their life.
Right.
Maybe not. Okay, a DJ, every single person in their life will have a need for a DJ sometime in their life.
Well, but I think more people will use a valet than a DJ in their life.
Absolutely not. I totally disagree.
Drive up and say, throw your keys to the guy, say, park it for me.
There is a whole state of people in North Dakota that will not spend money on such frivolity. I'll walk. Thank you very much.
But those people will hire a DJ.
They'll hire. Yeah, they have weddings.
No,
they have weddings. They get married. They hire DJs. Whether it's like really expensive weddings or it's like really cheap, weddings. They're going to hire a DJ.
So
for that, there's bar mitzvahs. There's anniversary parties. There's birthday parties. Sometimes there's you name it. All the occasions and the affairs where there's music. There's going to be a call for
a bris,
a DJ. You
told me to name it a bris.
I wouldn't hire a DJ for that.
No, you sure?
Just to maybe film him, see if he got awkward.
That's not the DJ's job. Is filming. We're talking.
No,
wiki.
I would film him.
Oh, okay.
Being kind of awkward. Like, this is weird.
We could get Ryan Seacrest to do that. Once again, king of awkward.
Awkward comes natural to him. I'd have him interview the kid after the bris.
So I bet you that hurt.
Why don't you tell us about it? Describe the scars. No, really get into it.
Well, aren't there there's a lot of movies that are doing this right now. There's a lot of companies that are trying to make DJs in. I heard that they're doing a bunch of movies right now. They're trying to add that EDM thing, and one of them, the one that's probably going to be the biggest hit, is the one that I heard Will Ferrell's going to be a part of.
Oh yeah,
Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, one of the writers on Saturday Night Live, are doing one called "I'm in Love with a DJ." And it's about these two hot girls running through Europe trying to find this hot DJ. And I'm betting money that the guy who's playing the DJ is going to be Will Ferrell.
Well, and it'll be a very bit part at the very end.
Yeah, or, well, maybe not. If it's Will Ferrell and it's going to be a Will Ferrell vehicle, then I doubt that it's just going to put him on the end, especially if they're putting his name into it.
Well, but the way you describe it, though,
right,
that they're running around looking for him, it'll be a very short movie if they find him right away.
Well, yeah.
Or he'll have another twist in there. Like, they'll lose him again suddenly. They'll wake up in the morning and he'll be gone. Oh, how did this happen? We have to find him again. Let's go, girls. It'd be like kind of a weird mix between like
Cowbell
Charlie's
DJ.
Angels and Spice Girls and I don't know what. Anyway, so I don't remember. I don't know which do you know what movie is this from, the script that you have?
Oh, it's the
You've
one.
got a little
It's the
sample script.
Right,
here.
it's from the Dead Spy movie. It's Dead Spy Running.
This is from Dead Spy Running.
Somebody
Okay, great.
figured that, as they figure, because as Danny tries to clear his name and avenge his father's death, he gets deeper and deeper into the world of espionage while never forgetting his background skills as a DJ.
As a DJ, matching beats.
Dun.
Awesome. So we have a scene that we're going to do.
So, Mr. Marchand, you have learned that your father learned what he has learned, and that my plan to destroy Western civilization, bring your global anarchy, and make it unstoppable. And yet, I'll give you the chance that he never had to live long enough to see the world burn. And Danny looks deep into the evil villain's eyes and says,
"Not so fast. You forget that a good DJ always knows when to let the beat drop."
Danny cranks the subwoofers as the DJ station, and suddenly right in front of him, deploying a heavy bass dubstep tune. And the terrorist guy says, "No, those wub vibrations are destroying my doomsday device." That's what?
You sound like Mr. Krabs.
I'm a tough
and he goes
tough
into
time.
cardiac arrest because it gives him heart palpitations.
Okay, sorry. No, those wubs vibrations are destroying my doomsday device.
It seems your plans have faded out, Apple Store.
So the bad guy is the Apple Store, and he kisses the lady and runs off with a victory set, having never forgotten his background skills as a DJ. This is now if we just gave it to him. I wrote that for these people, and if it doesn't work out, then whatever.
Did you write that?
No, I didn't.
Oh wow, I was gonna say you're brilliant, but I can't say that now.
No, I didn't.
But you know what we would love? We would love you to tell us what the victory set should be.
Oh,
so what's the victory set for the end of that song, or even what would be the victory set?
Do you have your own victory set for the guy who kills the villain
DJ
in the spy movie?
Kills the villain and runs off with the girl and has his victory set as he.
So either record it and put it on SoundCloud, or email us the 3-song set that you would do to Bill at BillAndJasonShow.com or Jason at BillAndJasonShow.com.
Or you can just put it in the comments right below here on YouTube.
Absolutely. That would be awesome, man. And if it's good enough, we will use it for when we save the universe.
Yeah. You'll know when the universe is being saved because you'll hear it.
You'll hear the wub wub vibrations.
The wub wub vibrations. You and your wub wub vibrations. They had to make it up.
So if you haven't gone to BillAndJasonShow.com and subscribed to our podcast and all that stuff, do that, okay? If you want to listen to this in the car, we do still have an audio version of the podcast on iTunes and all the places that you could find it everywhere and anywhere, so don't feel bad about checking it out. And if you can give us an iTunes... what's it called? A review. Review us on iTunes because we're looking for the ones of people who think we suck.
That's right.
Those are the ones we want.
We're attracting haters right now, taking applications for haters. And that's a good place to wrap the show. We'll talk to you again next Monday night. We'll take care and keep your feet on the ground.
And keep reaching for the stars.
And maybe one day someone will pull you out of your shoes.
What?
Good night.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.